Welcome to the Godfrey Windmill. This wind-powered grist mill was built by Colonel Benjamin Godfrey in 1797. Colonel Godfrey built the mill on a hill above his home, located east of Stage Harbor Road and overlooking the Mitchell River. The mill ground grain until 1907, when it was damaged by a storm. It was not practical to repair the mill, and so its commercial use ended. In the mid-1950s, the mill was donated to the town of Chatham, moved to Chase Park, restored, and opened to the public for tours in 1956. By the beginning of the 21st century, the mill was in a state of disrepair. In 2009, the citizens of Chatham voted to use Community Preservation Act funds to restore the windmill. The multi-year restoration was completed in 2012, the year Chatham celebrated its 300th anniversary. The restoration was extensive. Some parts of the mill had to be replaced, but original parts were saved whenever possible. With the restoration completed, the Godfrey windmill again looks much as it did in the mid-1800s and can again grind grain just as it did back in 1797. The Godfrey Windmill is open during the summer months for tours. Our millers and guides provide insight about the mill's architectural features, its historic importance in Chatham, and explain how the mill converts corn into cornmeal. There are a number of interesting architectural features on the Godfrey Windmill. One such feature is a long pole which extends from the top of the mill and is attached to a wheel at ground level. This pole is used in a process called winding the mill, where the miller would put his shoulder to the wheel to adjust the mill in response to changing wind conditions. The tail pole is used to turn the vanes of the mill into the wind, making the most efficient use of the available wind power. Winding the mill also influences other aspects of the mill's architecture. For instance, the mill has two doors. During times when the mill's turning vanes might prevent the use of one door, the other entrance remains unobstructed. The shape of the mill is also designed to accommodate the need to wind the mill. While a water-powered grist mill typically has 4 walls, the Godfrey windmill has 8. The 8-sided design results in greater floor space within the mill while accommodating the need for orienting the vanes in any direction. The milling process is best understood by viewing the interior of the windmill. As the wind turns the vanes of the mill, a series of shafts and gears is set in motion, causing the upper millstone to turn and grind corn into cornmeal. A few times each year, if the wind cooperates, you can see the windmill grind corn, just as it did 2 centuries ago.
The corn in there, this being square on purpose, keep this back, to keep the corn trickling into the hole.
As the millstone turns, grain is ground finer and finer as it moves from the center of the millstones towards their outer edge. By the time the corn reaches the outer edge of the millstones, it has become cornmeal, and it then drops down a chute to the first floor. The miller constantly monitors the quality of the meal from his position on the first floor. From here, he can adjust the spacing between the millstones to control how finely the grain is ground. The local grist mill was an essential part of life until the end of the 19th century. The influence of the mill is still with us today in the form of phrases such as the daily grind and grist for the mill. As part of our windmill tours, our millers and guides explain the origins of many of these phrases. There is much more to see and learn about the Godfrey Windmill. We hope you will visit and participate in a tour. Additional information about the mill, including tour dates, can be found online at chathamwindmill.com.